As pressure continues to build within the church against what I feel the Book of Mormon is teaching me, I've wondered this week if Isaiah was also speaking to people in my situation when he said, "All ye that are broken off and are driven out because of the wickedness of the pastors of my people, yea, all ye that are broken off, that are scattered abroad, who are of my people." It feels like I am being broken off and driven out by modern pastors, those who have gained control over the church and exercise authority over the members. Whether through their strange new doctrines, their exclusionary teachings, or even their disciplining of questioning members, their effort is inexorable and relentless. It's sad to see the grip they hold over the people and the gospel that I love. For those like me who feel we are, quote, of Christ's people, and who find themselves scattered by these pastors, what now? Where can I go? I feel like the poor in spirit of the Zoramites, who were cast out by their proud leaders, and asked Alma and Amulek, "What shall these my brethren do? For they are despised of all men because of their poverty, and more especially by our priests. And we have no place to worship our God. And behold, what shall we do? What shall I do, indeed?" In looking around me for direction from others who have been broken off, either physically or spiritually, I see some trying to stay within the LDS Church and making it work, and I see others who are turning their back on everything they once believed. This situation reminds me of the dilemma of the baby in the bathwater. It's a temptation to try to remain active in the church and keep the status quo, effectually not disturbing the bath because there's a baby inside, even though the water has become impure. Remaining in the church, or in the bath, so to speak, is an especially appealing option because to me, the baby in the bath represents the good things I believe to be true. Those things for me are, first, God. I believe in him. I've had too many witnesses of him to deny his existence. So many times he's directed me, comforted me, taught me, and blessed me. Through prayer, through mind-expanding and soul-enlarging experiences, and through the wonder and beauties of his creations all around me, I feel he is more real than anything else I've experienced. And second, Jesus Christ. I also believe in him. His life, his teachings, and his gospel to me seem to be the embodiment of everything good around me. His influence has been a constant anchor and a rudder to stabilize and guide my life. Trying to live like him seems to be the best use I can make of the time he has given me here on this earth. And yet, for me, while I believe in God and Jesus, I personally can no longer turn a blind eye to the filthiness in the bathwater of the church. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. It's a door I have passed through that I can't return from, and the filthiness becomes more evident to me with each passing day. So the problem is, where does the baby end and the filthiness begin? What is true and real in the things I've been taught about God and Jesus over the years, and which teachings are false and lead me back to the same attitudes, false doctrines, and iniquities that are driving people away from the church? When I think about all these problems and difficult questions, I empathize with those who throw it all out, baby, bathwater, everything. It seems like a clean break, like a new start, a new baptism, so to speak. Those people are free to move on, to get past the pain and the deception. But then what? If I were to let go of everything, throw it all out, God, Jesus, church, all of it, then I would be left with nothing but emptiness. And what does that option offer beyond immediate relief? It doesn't offer lasting truth. It doesn't offer real direction. It doesn't offer any answers to the exact same questions I ask of the church. Throwing everything away, in my view, would make me vulnerable to being then deceived by every other equally appealing yet equally deceptive voice or organization out there. It'd be like a sheep who escapes from a false shepherd only to find himself caught among wolves. What a dilemma. Last month I read the book Women Talking by Miriam Tooze. It is a novel based on actual events surrounding Mennonite women who between 2005 and 2009 were repeatedly drugged and raped by men within their commune in Bolivia. It was a touching story, and in it the women met together over the course of 2 days to decide between three options: to stay and do nothing, even though they were being abused, to fight, or to leave. I was so impressed by the thought processes and decision-making of the women in this story, and I admired their courage. In the end, they realized the only way to change the community for the better was for them to leave and to venture out into a world they knew nothing about. But they didn't leave blindly. Before they left, they were able to obtain a map to guide them. The Book of Mormon contains many stories similar to this story of the Mennonite women. Lehi faced persecution and death from the Jews in Jerusalem, and so he escaped. Nephi fled from Laman and Lemuel with all that would follow him. Alma fled from the armies of King Noah. The people of Limhi escaped from the Lamanites in the nighttime. The anti-Nephi Lehites escaped death and fled to the land of Jershon. The Jaredites escaped the tower and crossed the sea. And Moroni fled as the last remaining Nephite to bury the golden plates for us to have today. Each of those groups were also guided in their journeys. Lehi had the Liahona. The Jaredites had the stones touched by the finger of the Lord. The people of Limhi were guided by Ammon, who had been sent to find them. The anti-Nephi Lehites were guided by the sons of Mosiah. And Moroni saw and was ministered to by the 3 disciples of Jesus Christ. So I wonder, where's my guide today? Who can I look to for direction? I've come to believe the map the Lord has sent me, the stones he has touched with his finger, the Liahona he's prepared for me, is the Book of Mormon, along with the true parts of the Bible. They're the sources I believe will help me to know the words of Jesus Christ in a world where there are so many false voices. Both my feelings and my intellect swell with the truth in these books each time I read them. They're like stones cut without hands, beyond the capability of mortal men to create, that are at once beautifully simple but deeply profound. I feel more and more confident each day that the Book of Mormon, with the Bible, can teach me clearly what Christ's true gospel is. They testify together, they work together, they clarify each other's flaws, and they make the truth finally visible to me. I hope they can be my guides going forward, to give me direction at a time when I really do need some direction. Over the past 6 months, I've looked into quite a few issues in the church and talked about them in my previous channel. Many of the videos I've created tried to explore those individual issues. But right now, instead of looking at more issues, I want to pause for a bit and look at my forward direction, at where the Book of Mormon can lead me, and what it really means. I want to do a series of 3 videos that really feel out the aim and the purpose of the Book of Mormon. And to do that, I need to look at its themes. So themes. In a nutshell, a theme looks at the motives, the underlying message, and the heart of a book. It's music to an English teacher's ears, and as a teacher, themes fascinate me. But I haven't always liked themes. I've always loved reading good books, from the Boxcar Children and the Hardy Boys as a kid to every possible genre of literature as an adult. I just love to get caught up in a good story. But I remember well being annoyed in high school by my beloved English teacher, Mrs. Peterson, who kept pushing me to look at the bigger meanings in the poetry and the books she had us read. It was suffocating. I just wanted to enjoy the book. And so I did just enough analysis to get by and then get back to reading. However, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate my teacher and her efforts to search for themes. I find it interesting now to wonder if an author has a bigger subject in mind while writing, if there's a personal lesson they want to share. And I've felt that lately with the Book of Mormon. For decades, I was content to just enjoy the stories, and especially the war stories, and not think too hard about the bigger picture. But not recently. Now I'm starting to see meaning in every story and on every page. In thinking deeply while reading the Book of Mormon this last year, I've noticed what I consider to be 3 overarching themes. Of course, there are many more themes than just those 3. The very complexity of the Book of Mormon is one of its main beauties and a proof to me of its divinity. But I feel like these 3 themes have been impressed on me at this time in my life as I really seek to understand why I have this book and what God's purpose was of bringing it forth. And so, the 3 themes I want to explore in my next few videos are going to be these. First, coming to know and believe in the true nature of Jesus Christ. Second, learning how to live in his kingdom by seeing the difference between iniquity and charity. And third, finding hope for the future through the prophecies of the Bible and the Book of Mormon. I hope you'll join me as I dive into each of these issues and try to establish a way forward in my wandering with Christ. As always, I would love to hear your experiences and your ideas.